I've watched the first couple of episodes of Spider-Man Noir. Actually, it's not even called Spider-Man Noir, it's called Spider-Noir. And I just wanted to give a brief rundown before I probably do another video in a few days' time regards to my thoughts on it. But this is like the first impressions. I think I'm like 3 episodes in. And I gotta say, I love the show. This show is, mwah, I've not seen something good as this since Wonder Man. And if you've not seen that, I've got a Wonder Man video up on this channel somewhere. Please take a look at it. But yeah, Spider-Man Noir is, I keep calling it Spider-Man Noir. It's not, it's Spider-Noir. Now, the reason for 2 things, the title Spider-Noir, is because Sony is very weird with the Spider-Man franchise. If you don't know, the Spider-Man franchise has typically or mostly been a Sony franchise, a Sony IP. And what that means is, although Spider-Man is from the Marvel universe, for whatever reason, don't know, someone in the comments going to let me know, I've not deep dived it enough, but there's the control that Sony has on Spider-Man, because Spider-Man is a multi-billion-pound franchise. They are very delicate or hands-on with how you handle that product. So because this show, Spider-Noir, is 1, rated 15, 2, Spider-Man straight up people, he straight up just murders the shit out of everyone left, right and center. It's a bit more gritty. It's almost like Logan and the older Wolverine movies, where they like made it what Wolverine should be, like a 15. The man has claws coming out of his hands. It shouldn't be rated PG or rated 12. It should be rated R or rated 15. So Spider-Noir has that same sort of feel, not as gritty as that, but we are introduced to new Spider-Man in an alternate reality called Ben Reilly. Now, again, I was wondering about this. I thought all Spider-Mans were named Peter Parker, but because of this show being a bit more intense and a bit more, like I say, gory, a bit older, the main character is, I want to say, in his mid-40s to early 50s. So it's not like young Tom Holland Peter Parker. It's old, gritty, old man Peter Parker. So I believe in the comics, he is named Peter, but in the show, he's named Ben Reilly. And the reason for that is they wanted to separate the two. They wanted Peter Parker to be the shiny, clean-shaven object or IP, and Ben Reilly is essentially essentially Spider-Man, but he can get his hands a bit more dirty. So there'll be no spoilers in this, but like I said, I've just seen the first 3 episodes and my God, are they lovely. You get an option of either watching this in color or in black and white. I've seen both. In black and white, I think it was made for black and white. The visuals pop out a bit more. Like when he has his mask on, the eyes really just pop and the fight scenes pop. But the thing I found a bit difficult with the black and white version is sometimes I couldn't quite see what was going on, because obviously he's Spider-Man. Most of the things that he does happens at night. Well, actually, that's not true. In the Peter Parker Marvelous, but Peter Parker Avengers Spider-Man, his fights always happen during the day, but this always takes place at night. So where the black and white contrast sometimes is a bit harder to see. And I watched an episode in color, and again, the contrast in color was a bit off. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I meant that they use some sort of filter. I don't know what. I wish I was better educated when it comes to how things are filmed. I'm a writer and author by trade, but yeah, they use some sort of filter where the colors popped more, but it looked vintage. I don't know. So if you ever seen like a modern day movie that was shot in like a vintage sort of style, it had that presence to it. But again, loved it. I can't recommend this enough. The story so far is captivating. We're introduced to Ben Reilly, who's lost his wife. This is not a spoiler. This happens like the first 5 minutes of the show one. Lost his wife, and he's dealing with that. And he's put away his Spider-Man costume, or Spider-Man Noir costume, and he's just been a private investigator. Now, again, very set in the 1930s after the First World War. So, the First World War, if my history is right, was 1918 or thereabouts. So this is set in the 30s after the First World War, the Great War as they call it. And this is during the time of Depression, Prohibition, which means you can't drink alcohol and all that. So movies or stories, set in that time period always have a certain feel to them. They're gritty, they're cast in a certain style, they're really about the main character and his struggle. So again, the main character always has lost someone, has no money, which this Spider-Man doesn't, is trying to make ends meet, and is trying to look for a way to survive. And there's always like a mobster or some gang lord, like Al Capone, who's running the city. And this has all those elements in there. Just the whole feel of it is amazing. One thing which is interesting though is the fight scenes. Now the fight scenes were amazing, but they're not Spider-Man-esque. What I mean by that is they were more, I just say, like a middle-aged man trying to fight. And I guess this Spider-Man is a middle-aged man. He had the moves, but he was almost like, oh, my back, I can't backflip right now. It was very stick 'em up. It wasn't the CGI flipping and black flipping and flinging webs and doing all that nonsense. It was very like jab, cross, I hit you with a 2x4. Very kind of toned down regards to the acrobatics of what Spider-Man does. Now, I don't know if that changes in the later, in the show. I said I'm only like 3 episodes in. I don't know if that changes right at the end where we see backflips and fights and him diving across buildings and all that bullshit. But at the moment, very, not muted in nature, but very realistic. If there's one thing that the Marvel movies have in general, is that their fight scenes are all CGI. This, for my knowledge, doesn't look so. It looks like there's a stuntman and he's doing his own thing and that's it. So yeah, I can appreciate that. That's amazing. Characters, one thing I'd say so far, the characters are a bit weak. Apart from Ben, the main character, aka Peter Parker, aka Spider-Man Noir, they've not built up on the characters yet. Even the villain is kind of like, just not. The only main character which I like is the reporter, who's a black gentleman called Lemon, I think. Lemon Morris. It begins with an L. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments below, but he's a reporter who knows of Ben Reilly's alias being Spider-Man Noir, and he's trying to clean up the city. So it's a nice juxtaposition where Spider-Man or Peter Parker in Earth 616, all the reporters hate him and he's fighting against the reporters. But this alternate reality, the reporters actually kind of teaming up. So that's it's almost like a buddy cop sort of relationship. Really cool. They might be a potential love interest in this somewhere, but I don't see how that's going to evolve as the show goes on. But all in all, I love this show so far. I cannot give it enough praise. I know I'm only like 3 episodes in, but so far it's a 5-star. And I've been very critical of Marvel shows in general. Like, my tier list is high, i.e., this is what I have on my, I say top 5, but I don't do lists, but the shows that I give like a 5 out of 5 will be Loki, this show, amazing show. Wonder Man, amazing show. This potentially is there. The Punisher series, which I've not watched all of it yet, and the Daredevil. Like, I'm very. I've not seen WandaVision. I've heard great things about it, but yeah, I'm very picky when it comes to is this good or not, because I normally give movies more of a leeway because you only got like an hour or two to really land, to really take this show off, take this movie off, land it well. You've not got like 8 hours, you've not got 8 episodes, so I'm very tough when it comes to rating movies, rating shows in general. It's like, is the characters good? Is the acting good? Does the story make sense? You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm intrigued to see how this show lands. So I'll do another video later in the week. But for now, brilliant. I love it. If you've not seen it, please do. But before we go, as always, buy one of my books. If you love Spider-Man Noir, you'll probably also love Avatar: The Last Airbender, and you probably love Star Wars. You probably love Firefly. This book, Elements of Home, has all that and so much more. 3 books, completed series, a main lead, Aurora Star. I love this story so much. Ebook, paperback, up for sale on Amazon, also in Kindle Unlimited if people are hard up, folks. Yeah, it's an amazing story about a woman who has elemental powers, who also is battling her sister, who's a bit of a dick. Love this story. Very short read. Please give them a look. But yeah, that is it. As always, let me know what you think of Spider-Man Noir. So far so good. Unless they completely shit the bed when it comes to the final, like the ending of this, I think this is going to be like another top show. So I hope season 2 is in the works. Also, I didn't say this, but this is the main character is Nicolas Cage. I should have led with that. But yeah, Nicolas Cage is the main character. He does what he does. Nicolas Cage just plays Nicolas Cage. So this fits in perfectly. It feels like the show was written around Nicolas Cage instead of someone writing a Ben Reilly character and having Nicolas Cage trying to act. I think now showrunners and people who make these TV shows and movies that know, like, I'm going to write a film for Idris Elba. I'm going to write a film for Denzel Washington. I'm going to write a film from Samuel L. Jackson and just fit this person in this role, and it just more seamless, better. I think that is the way to go. But anyway, what do I know? I'm just an author of 25 books with a bit of success here and there. But anyway, I love each and every one of you. Big kiss. Until next time, we are out.